Yep, this hack needs a name still. 45. It's not as bad as I thought. Speaking of thoughts, I had a meaningful thought after I finished this up the other day. And my thought was, in that Star World level, or I think World 2, could it be that the pipes have a certain symmetry? 118 exits for Jesus. I don't remember Jesus being involved in this one, but hey, wouldn't surprise me. What's up, Steven? Looking because your mom's buzzing around for a visit. Well, I hope you have a nice visit with her. Plan to go out and visit my relatives on the East Coast in the vaguely near future. Need to finish doing that. Get my flights arranged for that. Which will be fun, because it's going to be one of those times where you get, like, have to arrange 3 different flights. Oh, right, there's nothing there. You do kind of a triangular thing, as opposed to a normal linear flight. There and back. No, I don't need dragon coins. Resist the temptation. I also had a thought. Ah, okay. There might be something cool up here. I'm not really sure how I would get up there without using like a Goomba jump. I don't really want to try that. Maybe I could jump off that Rana if I came in a bit higher. Let's kill this one. A little more velocity. But I think this is possible. I wiggled. Bit easier for her to visit considering you both live there. Fair. Fair. Alright. Try one more time, silly. Like, I'm pretty sure I could make that. I just need more confidence. You know, or a cape. A cape would also work. Got a lot due to arthritis. 6 or 7 days you're alone. Home alone, basically. Fair. That sucks. Oh, there we go. That works. I got the thing. So satisfying. Unfortunate about the arthritis, though, but that does happen when one gets a bit older. It's a common problem. I don't really know what arthritis is about. Something about, like, your joints being unhappy with each other. This level again, what is it? So what I'm doing in this level is... There's a secret exit, as you can see, and I wanted to test out a theory that I had after I went to bed. One of those, I couldn't find the secret exit, I wondered what the deal is. And my theory was that there might be a symmetry, and it looks like I was correct. Now I have to walk backwards. Because since this part of the level looks a lot like the prior part with all the same pipes, would have been nice if they had the same colors to be just as indicative, but this works. Mostly. But that will do it. Secret exit acquired. Too suspicious. Looking coins earlier. Oh, those are for something else. Surprisingly. What's up, Wergoose? I think you guys might have. Also very irritating that the secret just goes back down. That's always hard to tell. I think I might have misunderstood or done something silly or fell down in just the wrong spot so I couldn't see it. Would be my 3 guesses. I may as well just go around the loop since we already spent some time doing that. Go see what the first one looks like. Am I familiar with Lunar Magic tools, trinkets, and Lunar Magic Helper? I unfortunately am not. How you doing, Fedora? Isn't Lunar Magic Helper like something that injects stuff into the... like, gives you extra buttons? Makes it look silly? Yeah, impossible. Never would do that. Look, I saved a galaxy far, far away yesterday. I'm feeling alright about myself. Admittedly, I did somehow miss the boss dying, because I was trying to run away from him. But I did successfully save the galaxy, so there's that. Lunar Magic Helper does something else. Yeah, like I said, I'm not really familiar with it. Like, I know there's nifty tools to make Lunar Magic work a little bit better, and I did write one for SD to SNES users, which, as far as I know, still works. Though it has been a while since I've, like, tested it, because it uses a whole different... Oh, hello. API for communication with the SD to SNES than I usually do. I hate this gimmick so badly. It's not even a real thing. Saved one galaxy, let's try a couple more. That's fine. Are BrickBucks supposed to behave like that? I think that this game, Hack, is kind of an old one, and so I'm not too pulsed about them not behaving, you know, Mario 3 style. I think it's a not uncommon block that just behaves a little bit weirdly. Like, they'll break if you have a breakable block to throw at them, or some way of breaking them, conventionally. But if you're small, it doesn't really do much. And turning into coin blocks just seems like a reasonable thing to do. A fairly straightforward transformation. If you want them to be coin blocks as opposed to a proper, like, Mario 3 style block. Nope, she never stopped. Real boss of Dark Fortress has the tan suit by the escape vehicle. Oh, I killed that guy too. We stopped to admire the escape vehicle, though. In all its pixelated glory. Or all its polygonal glory. I do find it intriguing that they bothered to make those 3D. Like, more proper 3D. What's in here? Nothing. Disappointment is in there. But yeah, I spent some time running away from the boss and didn't even notice it died. Because I saved an awful lot of my Dark Trooper ammo for him. Which I probably should have used earlier, you know, just how it goes. In retrospect, I probably should have saved that for later. Did I want to go up? Or did I want to go over? Don't think that's what I should have used my P-switch time for. Oh, Tails! Well, other than that, everything's going fine. Weird that there's such a division of, What? What did the P-switch do? Oh, hello. Oh, that's fun. Hammer Bro cage. Oh, this is Midway. Okay. Question is, did I miss one, or did he just decide to put one in the middle for me? Gotta beat this level at least twice, so I'm not too worried about missing anything. Too what? Much. Let me catch up. Watched the Mario movie today, it was good. Got 2 fairly reasonable nits, but otherwise we're good. Why am I moderating this? It was been out forever. It has. It's received 2 recent updates. I believe Amethyst did the first one. And then after Amethyst played it, the hack maker decided to release another update. And so I'm looking at that update. And it's gonna require doing some weird stuff later. There's a Luigi version, which I probably should do some due diligence for, since it's the same thing but has Luigi with weird, slippery Luigi physics. And I decided I did not want to beat the weird Luigi version. I think I can get on top of the cake. Oh, it's a funfetti cake! I just realized! Oh, that's cute. Yeah, what were the nitpicks? Like, I liked it a lot, too. I guess my minor nitpick was, like, I would have preferred less licensed music. Holding Out for a Hero is a hard song to take seriously anymore. No Sleep Till Brooklyn was fine. I felt that was mildly appropriate. But... I'm hoping the answer isn't an absence of tails. Because that would be silly. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time doing silly things in this level, and I'm running out of time. P. Oh, I need the P switch here to do something. Probably. Alright, cool. I found the dragon coin. I don't really care what happens now. The Forest of Funfetti Cake. Oh. Let's hope I can grab the cape and keep flying. And destroy the bridge. Fly up here to Cake. Well, let's top Cake it. Oh, P-switch. Thought I had to haul the other one all the way over there. Yeah, I guess that's probably not how you're supposed to do that. That gets you up here, obviously. I'm gonna run out of time, I don't really care. Most of what I was doing here was just burning time to finish a little bit of the other moderation nonsense. Nitpicks, Seth Rogen's stupid laugh, and the originally composed tracks getting replaced with licensed stuff for no good reason. Yeah, fair. I didn't really mind Seth Rogen. But yeah, the licensed tracks I found to be a little distracting. Other than No Sleep Till Brooklyn, I still like the Beastie Boys, just a little bit. Probably shouldn't, but I still do. Long, long time ago, my brother bought a copy of License to Ill, and I still have it. Dang, I really want a cape here. Come on. Well, oh wait, I'm already big, I'm just being dumb. Alright, well, that was a waste of everyone's time. Mostly mine, but you know. You know, I could have already had 2 capes in the time it took me to do that. Okay. Nope. No bonsai. He wins this round. So yeah, if I hold the P-switch all the way over there, which I'm not going to do, I could have get this... But I can use this P-switch somewhere else, I have to guess. Okay. Can only really carry one thing at a time. Let's see. This pipe looks like it could be a secret. Nope. Pipe looks very purple. Or pinkish, depending upon your perception. I'm still amused at the fact this is Funfetti Cake. Probably shouldn't be, but I am still amused. It's probably actually like a trademark of Betty Crocker or something. Because it's quite literally just cake with sprinkles inside. Like, it doesn't even taste better, it just looks funnier. It's very much a thing for children's. Continuing my problem that I've had with all of these special world stages so far. Oh, I need to use the other P-switch here. Well, I have to beat the level anyway, so I may as well just beat the level now. One thing you will say, the Sonic movie ended with an obvious sequel in the making, and the Mario movie did not. But you know everyone wants. Yeah, definitely. I think that they could do a good job. Hope Luigi gets a bit more screen time where he's not screaming in terror. But, you know, he also got to have at least a little bit of time showing off, which was nice. Because, you know, Luigi just doesn't really get that much credit. Consider all his moves in Smash, an awful lot of them are very silly. Where do I want to get off from the top here? Down here, maybe? Yeah, hereabouts. I don't know what I was thinking with that. Oh yeah, this is definitely Kirby music. Okay, now we take the P-switch. Of all of the paths I could have taken, or the Japanese version also has the licensed music? I would imagine so. Huh. I would imagine so, just because, like, doing different cuts to different music, but they're already gonna have different voice acting, right? Like, they're not gonna have Chris Pratt. I mean, maybe they might. I don't know if it's a movie for kids, so I don't know if they're gonna, like, subtitle it. And just have English subtitles. I know, like, Marvel's kind of popular over there, I think. So maybe Chris Pratt would be a draw, I'm not really sure. Yeah, the OG music is it does fit the scenes better. I imagine part of that is just because, like, you know, we've played these games, we know what these scenes should sound like. But, that being said, still awesome. Those are evil, evil footballs. Okay, midway, I've already tested the midway. Take my lengthy P-switch journey all the way over here. One-tile, actually I don't need to one-tile jump my way out of this, I can just get a one-up and leave. Okay, but now, if I want to get to the end, what I'd have to do is juggle the key and the P-switch. That's not annoying. Like, I also don't really need the P-switch here. Like, you can easily do this with Cape. And in fact, can make it harder because if you took the wrong path up. No, I'm still thinking about cake. Okay, so a more different P. And before someone says, oh, Pat, just pick up both at the same time. No, I'm not that good at this. Oh, balls. Oh, that works. Deco says I'll have both versions. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Chris Pratt didn't really carry the movie, but he wasn't annoying either. I think he did alright. That's pretty much it. Like, you never paying attention to whether or not it was Chris Pratt, but with Donkey Kong, you were definitely paying attention to him being Seth Rogen. Okay. I think I don't know Seth Rogen's career well enough to really have an opinion that way. Very glad into Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, I think Chris Pratt's fine. Like, he's not my favorite actor of all time, but, you know, I think he's okay. Like, the things I've seen him in. Namely, Guardians of the Galaxy and Parks and Rec. But that's pretty much as far as my opinions go on him. He got way better in later seasons of Parks and Rec. The first few where he was just a completely goofy loser were kind of annoying. I broke my leg because I fell into a pit and it was completely self-inflicted because he was hella drunk. Not endearing. Let's get some Mega Man music. Isn't this Airman? Oh. Don't you hate it when you scroll it just perfectly like that? So you can't really go into it. Oh. But yeah, they could definitely set up the Mario sequel. They could do any number of things that could be fun. Like, they did a little bit of that at the end of the movie. I didn't actually sit through it, but I ended up hearing about it with this Yoshi Egg thing, which apparently was an homage to the not terribly good Godzilla movie that came out in, like, '96. Which I did see in theaters, and it was not terribly good. But it also felt kind of funny, like, teasing that you'd see Yoshis when you got to see the Great Yoshi Migration from, like, was it Melee? Yeah, the feeling I got when watching that movie was just, like, people who got to do a lot of the background set dressing stuff had a lot of fun. Finding little bits and bobs they could throw in as Easter eggs. Like Donkey Kong's house. Like, that was straight out of DK64, I'm pretty sure, which looks a lot like the one on Super Nintendo, but isn't quite the same, and I think that's where I died, actually. I really want to be hit by 2 different sources of flame, thank you. I'm gonna do this the easier way. But I can do both. Wanting a Zelda movie? There's a lot they could do with that, too. I would hope they bring back the CDI Zelda type stuff. That'd be great. Find out just how many Dodongos he can bomb. Whether or not he truly was hungry enough to eat an Octorok. I think I found the secret exit. Okay, I need to bring a cape into the level, apparently. Test. I think these blocks might yield capes. Oh, come on, not again! Mistakes were made. Ah! Nope. The most iconic Zelda worth retelling. Ocarina of Time. I mean, it'd be nice if they took it in a different direction instead of making it just like, here is the same game, but replayed in movie form. Like, arguably, you could say that was true for the Mario movie, but, like, we never got that exact story. Just has all the same elements of a standard Mario game. This level has a lot of annoying things. I personally hate little jumping sparks of light, of fire. They are my least favorite thing. Wait a second, did I test these pipes? I don't think I did. Don't mind Potobos. Do mind little Sparkies or whatever they're called. Not Sparky. I don't even think they get a name. They're that unimportant. What if Capcom will follow up? Try to get in on this. Do a Mega Man movie or something. Or it's already kind of was a Mega Man movie. What was it, Man, I could see his face, but I forgot his name. That's probably not much of a problem. Is that one with a... I did it again. No, I didn't do it again. Good. Okay, alright, you know what? Since I have the cape... and it's not that far away... I guess theoretically I could use these if I really was clever. Not clever enough. It was worth a shot. Just because there's a Kaizo-esque option around doesn't mean you need to try the Kaizo-esque option. Is really the lesson there. SMRPG movie. That'd be cool. I don't think that you'd be able to get buy-in of all the important people to make that happen. But it would be very cool. They could do a lot of fun things with that. Paper Mario movie wouldn't be a bad way to go either. You know, you get an actually interesting aesthetic for once. Like, I don't really mind the standard 3D aesthetics. We've kind of gone to a very plasticky or very realistic-looking world now, but, you know... cases where we can do interesting animation that isn't just off-the-shelf Pixar style is kind of nice. And Paper Mario could deliver on that. Or Parappa. I mean, I guess Parappa had a cartoon in Japan, so he's already kind of there. What if it's any good? I've never actually seen it. But yeah. Good they're getting that started, at least. I really am tired of not being able to see which things are going to emit fire at me. Oh, are there tiny holes? I think there are tiny holes to show where it's going to happen. I'm just not very good at seeing them. Which I guess shouldn't be surprising, given my setup. Right, this time. Yeah, there are tiny holes. I can actually see the obstacle now. Doesn't make me like it anymore, but at least I can see it. I'm gonna let the fireballs despawn. I thought I had that. Thought I had that too. Alright, let's try that again. World can trust Illumination with Nintendo properties now, not just not the music. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, Illumination has some sort of, like, licensing deal with MPAA where they, MPAA where they have to use a certain amount of licensed music in every single thing they make. It would not ultimately surprise me. I'm glad I stopped to get this, otherwise this would have been really stupid. Oh, let me guess. It's gonna put me back in the regular level, which is now an auto-scroller. Okay, maybe this isn't the normal level, though. It could be a different chunk of the level. Oh god, it's going fast. I wouldn't want to do this part without Cape. And at a certain point, you're not going to be able to do anything, so probably that bridge just continues until it shoves you straight into the... straight into the goal. But at least I got one exit done, which means if I do fall in a pit somewhere stupid, I can rescue myself from it. Oh, come on. EA's patch notes are great. Fixed an issue where the Thurgood Interceptor weapon fire audio would randomly change in volume to be obstructed by its own hull geometry. What? That is odd. Own hull geometry. Barb was playing Brutal Mario for the first time today. Oh, did he find it enjoyable? Like, what I always heard about Brutal Mario was it was an interesting tech demo, but, like, there were like, the level design wasn't great. And the bosses could be a little clunky. But it was a really cool demo that showed off what you could really do with this engine. It's been on my list for a very long time. I'm not sure it'll ever get off my list at this rate, since my list diminishment powers are pretty weak right now. Oh, actually, I can take Dark Forces off the list. Yeah, that's something I can do today. Forgot to do it last night, I think. Or if I did, I forgot that I did it, either way. You know, I'm just gonna do the safer thing, which is jumping on the fireball. Like, these obstacles here, I would just rather take the more Kaizo-esque route. It just seems safer. Okay. Like, it gives you a lot of power-ups, but... oh, hey, hello. Yes, please. I could definitely use one of those right now. Come on. Oh, speaking of, like, movie sequels no one asked for, but we're getting anyway, apparently they're making a sequel to Good Burger. With both Keenan and Kel, of course. You need to have both of them. Here, you like to take Carol's sprites and make a boss rush hack of Brutal Mario World? But that's, like, nigh impossible. Oh, I bet. Carol definitely had some programming chops, would make it... And that was an era before there were an awful lot of, like, easy... I think that came out, like, long before all the tools that we now take for granted, like Pixie and GPS, were commonplace. So I imagine he would just, you know, here's my assembler, I'm going at it! At least that's my guess. It'd probably be one of the better ways to enjoy Brutal Mario, given... Skipped over a dragon coin. Given what I understand, but... probably something I can't speak too much to until I actually end up playing the dang thing. One of these days. One of these days. You know, when I'm not stuck in the fireball realm. I'm waiting for it. I actually say it's an improvement for this bit, because I can kill these guys, but it doesn't matter that I can kill these guys. I'm not coming back. Like, I'm actually just going to move forward. Don't trust it. There we go. Okay. I am sick of fireballs landing on my head. There was Rami's back then, but it was there was Block Tool, older ad music, but Carol didn't really use it. No Uber ASM, but Uber ASM patch. Okay, so there were some tools back then. But I imagine dissecting it all and getting him into an insertable form might be a giant headache. Was there even proof that Carol was using those, though? Oh, I'm dead. I meant to start select. I guess there's probably ways to tell. Like tells and strings. Circumstantial proof. Okay. That's the best kind of proof. It's right up there with anecdotal evidence. Got his K. Rool to work in Pixie, and Meta Knight to an extent, but not Mark's. Mark's seemed like it might be very invasive. Wait, I can stand here and be safe. Okay. So reset to that. And wait. Nothing I like more than waiting for the tides. Okay. Oh no! I should have regular jumped. I thought trying to get that would be greed, and it was. I really shouldn't have tried. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, I did play with. I think I've played against the K. Rool one. That's in Mala World, right? Yeah, you can do that in one cycle. That's a lot better. You can poke Carol's brain today. You can make all the custom bosses you want. It was in Mala World. Okay, I thought I wanted to make sure I remembered it right. I don't think I've actually seen that boss outside of Mala World, though. Most of the time, people just stick with the ones they can... Oh, no. Oh, okay. That's how this is going to be. Most of the time, they stick to the ones they just get off SMW Central. I think Carol doesn't really care too much about how their code's used. Is my understanding, since they've, like, basically exited the scene. Busy doing other things. Understand they're married. By now, maybe they even got kids. Job at Nintendo. Something so very interesting about, like, the Japanese approach to anonymity when they're making stuff. It's not something you quite... Not the same as the way we do it here in America. What's up, Pablo? How you doing? Give a Pocket ASM person do some evil hacks. Do not give you any. I mean, you know, possibilities. Hack Jam might be coming back at some point. That could be a way to get a Pocket ASM person for a bit. But you never know. Okay, there we go. There's our safety spot. Yeah, Hack Jam was really cool. I was disappointed to see that we weren't going to bring it back in 2023. Like, of all of the things I think I've judged, I think Hack Jam was probably had the highest quality bar. Like, there were no hacks that were bad. I definitely want to state that. There were hacks that were better than others. And, you know, things like, for Lost Players definitely stole the show to some extent. I bopped my head. But there were a lot of really good stuff, a lot of great stuff that came out of that. I had a lot of fun with some of them, and there were a couple where I got really annoyed because I need to raise lives. Because they were broken. Pretty vivid imagination. Can you make this level mode 7 and turn SMW into an FPS, but instead make it like Pokemon Snap, but if you hit the picture, it kills you? Oh, that would be kind of cool. Yeah, there's a game like that, right? Where you take pictures to, like, damage ghosts or something? I want to say that I've seen the reference to it in Smash, because it's like a assist trophy or something. I don't know. It feels like the kind of thing that would exist already. Fatal Frame? Ah, okay. I blamed that one on lag. Super Sea War makes a reference to it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I really should do more fun programming. It's been too long. Like, today was kind of just a complete waste of my time for work stuff. There were 2 tasks I had to do. One involved some irritating calculations to finalize moving some stuff around. Calculations were all fine, got them verified, and then when I went to go do the stuff for that, the website I need, the third party I was relying upon for that part is down, so I can't do anything with that. Like, their website's just broken. And then I need to verify my integration and staging with that stupid API that I've been dealing with recently. And it doesn't work. I hit the API endpoint and it gives me this lengthy error message about encodings. And apparently, it was expecting XML and it was giving back HTML. And none of which was something I was involved in. It's entirely in their backend. And so there's nothing I can do until they get back to me tomorrow. Presumably to say, oh yeah, you found another important bug in our code. Because we never actually test anything at this company. Ever. Not even smoke test it. But I digress. That one was mine to fail. Make this boss play like a Touhou boss from this game. Like exact but an SMW. That'd be kind of cool. Not gonna bonk my head this time. I'm gonna waste a bunch of time hitting this box, though. Yeah, Touhou also has a camera-based game, if I'm not mistaken. It's called, I think, Shoot the Bullet. And one of the things you have to do is, like, you can clear bullets by taking pictures of them or something. I don't actually know how it works. I've never really played. I haven't played most of the Touhou games. Like, I've only ever played a little bit of, like, UFO, the Cerno one, and Phantasmagoria of Flower View, which is very unlike every other game. Wouldn't mind redoing Flood. Yeah, the Flood sprite's a little awkward. Are those worth playing? I mean, if you like shoot-'em-ups, yeah. Oh, hello. Oh, good. Do I, though? Did it save any? Okay, good, it did save something. Would have been salty if I'd gone back to, like, 45 exits or whatever. At least I get to keep one. I'd put Tails back, but you're the one who reset my game, so no Tails. No free Tails today. It's actually not a bad thing, I guess. Gives me a chance to collect all the Dragon Coins in one go if I'm actually good at it. I don't need to hit the stupid boxes anymore. So that'll probably be less annoying. It could make this not as bad. Could being the operative word. But yeah, I mean, they're shoot-'em-up games. They're kind of cool. They have nice designs. Pretty much every character is some sort of girl wearing a hat. If you like hats, that's a good option. Phantasmagoria Flower View is weird because it's more like... it's more like, I guess now we'd call them like the weird Battle Royale Nintendo games, right? It's a game where you're playing independently. You're playing a shoot-'em-up. And you have an opponent on the other side of the field who is also playing a shoot-'em-up. and they can throw Detritus at you by doing various things, like killing fairies or summoning their spell card or whatever. Very unique, comparatively, to an awful lot of shoot-'em-ups, which often just have military styling or other kind of like, yeah, been there, done that sort of aesthetics. Quite evil. What's up, Faro? How you doing? Did you learn what's going on with Vegas being sucky? It doesn't like your encoder? So today you were forced to learn how FFmpeg goes? My condolences. No one should have to learn how FFmpeg works. I don't actually know how FFmpeg works, and I've used it. But literally the way everyone uses FFmpeg is you Google your exact problem, and put Stack Overflow afterwards, and use whatever incantation the person provides. It doesn't matter if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea, or it might break your computer. You just trust it. You absolutely trust it, because you're not going to do better. Finished hard spots? Nice. Citing a back to any ISM you could think of, then magically... I'm gonna wait another cycle. In the soup climbing section. Soup. I haven't had any soup in a long time. Oh no, wait, I did have some soup. It made me sick. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have soup. Incantation. I'm not kidding! Like, FFmpeg is one of the most jam-packed programs of all time. Like, it does stuff. It does a lot of stuff. Good luck figuring out what that stuff is. Good luck figuring out that stuff you want done. But inevitably, if it's video-related, it will do it. The problem, of course, being you need to figure out how to tell it what you want it to do. I may have screwed myself here. I did. Ugh. Had a really stupid idea for a sprite. Like a character sprite or a sprite? We've been talking ASM a little bit recently. Yeah, command line video editing. To be fair, I do use this. I actually do use command line video editing for my auto cutter software. Judgmental will be its name. Simple edit of Mario that looks like he's judging you the whole time. That would be normal. Such restraint not to hit the reset button during Star Wars. Oh, that would have sucked. It took me so long to get through some of those levels. But, like, once you did it once, it wasn't so bad. It was just a matter of understanding where you actually needed to go, because those kinds of FPSs are pretty mazy. I was actually kind of surprised I didn't get any resets during that, or pit droids. But I was pretty diligent to save after every level for pit droids. Definitely not a game I'm looking to revisit, pit droids. Did keep the Dark Forces disc on there, though. I might want to see about, like, playing some mods for that or something. See if there's any, like, good level packs. I like the weapons pretty well in it. Lava auto-scrollers are one of my least favorite things. It's like, I just gotta wait a cycle here. There we go. It's gonna come from anybody, would have been you. You were like, but Tails! Yeah. There. You definitely want to have more Tails points. This disturbs you greatly. Then it definitely is doing its job. Oh, okay, I guess we'll do that instead. I liked having the judgmental Yoshi. It was just looking into your soul. Is one of the P-Speed runs as Big Mario just your Yoshi sprite? Yeah, I mean, you made this sprite. You'd know better than anyone here. Or made that sprite. This guy in college who was into Toho, you had no idea what he was on about? It's not uncommon. Made it how long ago? I don't know. My guess would be about a year and a half ago. Because what I remember about it was I was playing through some of the WLDC levels. And that would have been like January or December or the year before. So. Toho meme's the most unhinged and you can't change your mind. I mean, Toho just does such a humongous fan area. In fact, I saw on Twitter, because one of the people I follow is a big Toho person. Apparently, there was a Fumo or something. They're like little doll things. Ah, wait. Decided to make, and they're made, like, an awful lot of them are Toho characters, is my understanding. But I think they make other characters as well, other anime characters. Made one of Zune. And they got a picture of Zune holding it, which is also pretty hilarious in my book. You know what? After the last level, this is pretty pleasant. Oh, well. Forgot he jumps. That's annoying. I might change my mind a little bit. Always 6 throwers. No one ever goes with 2 or 4. It's always 6. Always 6. Unsampled port, though. I think it's unsampled. Thank you for running out of projectiles. No! I think I'm fine. Looks the exact same obstacle, except to the right! Okay. Oh, man. Bramble, yeah. Sticker Brush Symphony. The level is called Bramble Blast. Should be in Infinity Throwers? No. There is a Windy level that uses this theme. There's an awful lot of level. Well, no, I don't think the Windy level uses this theme. I think Windy level uses a different one. But this is the one they use for an awful lot of the assorted, just Briar levels. That was the plan. This is an Eldad cloud. If they do a Donkey Kong Country movie, would also like the voice actors from the DK cartoon to come back. Collaborate on a 10-minute animation came out today. Oh shoot! I kind of want to see that. I've never actually spent any real time watching the Donkey Kong Country cartoon, and I'd never really even heard about it before Donkey did a video on it. Which, of course, portrayed it rather unflatteringly. But there were parts I kind of thought were interesting, and that early... Oh, come on! We'll share. Excellent. How you doing, Fire? And that early sort of SGI, CG look does work pretty well, even for a cartoon. But I'm just kind of a sucker for the CGI, SGI look. One of those things I keep needing to, like, share somewhere is the software they used for that. There's a demo reel that, it wasn't SGI, Symbolics actually made some of the software for that. Which is interesting because Symbolics was a Lisp company. But apparently they decided at some point that trying to sell people Lisp machines was not smart. And decided to delve into porting their software into other platforms, including SGI's workstations. And their demo reel for that software is really interesting, because it shows off an awful lot of, like, cartoon stuff, people's, like, portfolio work, and then, like, some commercial stuff. There's actually a commercial for what I think is, like, a German, maybe a German alcohol-free beer that almost convinced me that I'd want to buy it. Almost. Almost. But apparently it was used for an awful lot of, like, just real-time-ish CG stuff. And even non-real-time-ish CG stuff for a while. So the more you know. Come on, Eldad Cloud. No. Yes. Alright, new territory. Holding up gets really annoying after a while on this controller. Probably just holding up too hard. Holding up harder does not actually make you go up faster, but somehow it feels like it's the right thing to do. Okay, there we go. What's up, well-known vintage? How you doing? Went out for a bit, came back to non-alcoholic German beer. This hack is pretty good. I've played a little bit of it back in the past. Vegas doesn't like MKVs. Why? You don't even know, even though it lists as a compatible file type. Oh, that sucks. Not surprising. MKVs are kind of like a weird hobbyist format as opposed to one of the more standard ones. Like, I save everything as MKVs for some reason. At this point, I don't really know, and it'd require way too much work to switch out to MP4s. So I just stick with it, and it's part of the workflow. Now you're trying Mauve. Oh my, oh no. The sign someone surely has actually truly given up. The Mauve file. The funny thing is, like, MOV was a respectable file format at one point. Need to test the midway. But, like, it was also one of the gutter formats of things. Like, you got an MOV, you're like, oh great, I'll put that with my real audio, or real video files. Like, you're never happy about getting a Mauve. Oh, what's up, Matt? Oh, also, hello, well-known vintage, in case I forgot to say. Kronberg, I do not know what the name of the beer was. I'd have to look it up. I've been meaning to just, like, post that reel in Discord. I guess I'll do that later, once I'm done here. It's a really cool reel. Why not MP4? That is a good question. I actually got to deal with MOV files recently, just a little bit. Because I had to install QuickTime 4 to play the silly droid game. Which I don't think was actually really all that, like, I don't think QuickTime 4 added much to that game. Like, the droid scenes were cute, but more Watto is not something I really need in my life. Like, Watto's just a weird character to begin with. Oh. I know the answer, but I'm gonna take the easy way first. I was really hoping that she changed behind the pillar. That would have been so cool. If that'd been when the transformation happened, but it wasn't. I had to look at the screen to see. Who's this weird character? She's from another Mario hack. I don't know. I actually do not know. It's called naturalhabitat.move. WMV was also one of those things. ASF. That's another great type of file format. That reminds me, I was trying to download an ASF from archive.org a while ago because I really wanted to get the best version of that ASF I could get. Someone did post it to YouTube, but they did a really lousy like pull-down job on it, and it looks like complete crap. And I remember it not looking like complete and total crap. Like it's still an ASF file, and clearly a hobbyist one. And, you know, it's a 10-minute long thing, and it weighs in at about 13 megabytes. So like it's guaranteed to be kind of crap in terms of quality. That's just how it is. But I still want a good version of it. As good of a version as I can get. It's a like little film project that Kevin Pereira, who was a tech TV person later in life, had made for his silly website. And it mildly amuses me. It was called 3dreel.asf. It was the kind of thing you'd see posted on various message boards back in the day. And it was just literally like a explanation about how real life isn't like FPS games. And the more amazing part is it came out before Counter-Strike, so it didn't even include the part where, you know, you run faster by holding a knife. Something to be said for some unsampled nonsense. There we go. Said X is a weird character? Oh. No, I don't know. I have no idea what I was talking about, Matt. My apologies. It worked? Congratulations, Faro. Congratulations. Weird character. What have I been talking about? Oh man, I'm gonna be wondering for a while. Dumb Shit's a weird character. Marina, I don't think Marina's a weird character. I think she's just, you know, standard kind of cute-ish character. Yeah, it wasn't even just talking about, like, multiplayer FPS. It also handled, like, a lot of single player. So multiplayer hadn't quite taken off as much. Like, I downloaded this circa 90... Yeah, it would have been 99. It would have been 99, I'm pretty sure. Vegas was refusing to acknowledge the 2 other audio channels in the MP4 that it was giving it. I assume you mean, like, left and right, not like you have a commentary audio file. Marina is what Japanese people think British people dress like. Guess I could see that. Reminds me just a bit of, like, some of the Pokemon characters with their funny hats. Like the girl from Gold, I don't remember what her name was, but, like, she had a funny hat. Ow! I'm taller than that. Oh, I'm just having to think. What was it? Celine? I think... Oh, the Pokemon girl? I don't know. Talk about their hair. I'm trying to remember. I cannot even remember what the hair looks like. I can just think of hats. Been well trained by Toho. Don't think about what the hair looks like. Think about what the hat looks like. The glove shape? Yeah, I'd say that was kind of glove shaped. It was a weird hat. It was kind of big and puffy. 3 separate audio channels. One for mic, one for Discord, and one for game audio. Ah, okay. I see what you mean now. You don't mean left and right. You mean you have, like... Yeah, that's odd that it wouldn't acknowledge those. Because I've never actually tried to edit with a single file that had multiple channels before. Like, every time I have multiple audio channels, it's because I've added one. I'd like to look at that, but I have to hold right and over. That is ridiculous. That is not what I'm thinking of, but that is ridiculous, yes. It's a skirt? I'd say it's like a jacket. That is not the girl I was thinking of. That is a different girl. That's from, like, I have no idea. There's been too many Pokemon games, I can't keep track of all of this. Back in the day, there was Misty. That was the Pokemon girl. And I guess Jessie, or maybe Officer Jenny was her name? I think it was all the girls in Pokemon. But there weren't actually all that many dudes in Pokemon either. There were just like Brock and Ash, and that was about it. Oh, Ash's mom. Gary. Professor Oak. I think that's pretty much all the characters in Pokemon back when I knew what was going on. The big question I have is, did Ash ever get Misty a new bike? Like, I never watched enough of the show to find out. But now that Ash is retiring, did he ever get her a new bike? He did not. Oh yeah, James. I forgot about you. Oh yeah. Oh, I almost screwed that up. The James cross-dressing episode. That was a thing. Who dresses like that? Models? Yep. That is the thing. Okay, cool. Really, I just wanted to unlock the Star World so I can move around quickly when I need to go back to prior levels. And so we've accomplished that. That took a lot longer than expected. But, I mean, you could look it up. I think people used to just call it James with Tits. But there was definitely an episode where he cross-dresses and, like, tries to win a bikini contest or something. I forget how this works. It was weird. Whoa there, man. It's really slippery here. And those Chucks want to get revenge on you with snowballs. Do you think they're bad? Probably. You just saw it? Inflatable tits? Yeah. I always felt weird anytime James was there because it was like, that's also your name. Fair. Japan has its own ideas of what is appropriate and is not. For children's. Would probably be the best and most reasonably diplomatic way to phrase it. Japan is an interesting place. Whee! Ow. Electric sword. Yeah, that one. I mean, it was censored for, well... Yeah, the Porygon one was censored because it gave kids seizures, which I think is a perfectly reasonable reason to stop doing that. I think they stopped doing the red and blue flashing stuff after that pretty soon. Because I know the only anime I can think of where I saw it was Yu Yu Hakusho, and that was wrapped up in, like, the early 90s, I think. Or it started late 80s or something. That was, like, the worst outcome. The Wiggler should also be snowballs. Wait a second. So yeah, I beat this level, but I didn't find... Oh, wait a second. I said I could do this if I was big and had a Wiggler. Hello, Wiggler. No, come back here. I need you to wiggle for me. Alright, I would say that is not an up pipe. I expected to land on the Wiggler. That's my excuse. The worst outcome so far. That's true. Was that a pun? I don't know. It might have been. Ah, come on. But yeah, that was the thing the Hunter x Hunter guy did before Hunter x Hunter. To make it even weirder, apparently that guy's like married to the woman who did Sailor Moon. Like one of those very small world things. You know, whereas Hughes wrapped up Sailor Moon, I think, pretty well, he's still trying to figure out what to do with his next arc. And may just keel over before then, you never know. If you're not famous at doing manga, apparently it's very bad for your health. Little brother tried to get me into Hunter x Hunter, and I watched I need to stop doing that. Decent chunk of it, but I kind of stopped after the video game arc. My interest just kind of waned. Especially knowing that it's not complete. Yeah, this works. Too bad I didn't get the Wiggler on the way back. Okay, cool. That's a power-up. Huh. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any shells, but that could have been a power-up spot. Or a infinite life spot. Ah, right. Yeah, I needed to come back with a cape, and that's how I got to the secret exit, and that's irrelevant now. Or there's a spring a little bit further along or something. I got up there. That's how I got the secret exit, so I'm not too interested in going back there now. That's how that was supposed to work. Yep, there's the conveniently placed apparati. And, oh, I did get all the dragon coins. This last one's up here. Yeah. Convenient. Got that there. Quick up pipe check. Then we can just go into the pipe, I guess, huh? But what's in the box? Boink. Alright, let's go for it. $40! Ah! I've gotten a lot of 40s. I really want a 50. Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you for sending that, Fedora. Reason Tide. You know? What do I know? would be cool if fireballs would break those. So they are just snowballs after all. Come on. Maybe a little bit earlier. Oh, yeah, I can just stand in the tide. Right. Okay, no up pipe there. Those yield nothing. Worth a shot. What's up, dolphin? It's an up dolphin. Nothing wrong with a good bit of athletic. See, this dolphin here is suspicious. Like, one of these feels like there has to be something interesting in it. It's a very slippery dolphin. Though I suppose dolphins are often very slippery, just by nature. Ah, my suspicions were correct. Alright, got one at least. Got two. That wasn't the most successful way of doing that. Stuck thinking about which Pokemon girl has the weird hat. The one I was talking about was clearly the one in Soul Silver, Heart Gold, or whatever they were. That's the one I was thinking of. Don't know if that helps. That was the one I was thinking of. She has a very derpy hat. And of course, there are other like Pokemon girls that have more sensible hats. Like one of them just has like a normal hat. Like it's just like a beanie. A beanie is a very normal type of hat. I don't know if that link is gonna work. That object does not exist. Alright. Yeah, like her hat is gigantic and foofy. Like, is a big poofy hat. It's clearly what it is. And terrible. DeviantArt is stupid. Indeed it is. They just keep redesigning the hell out of DeviantArt to make it worse, and then they had their AI initiative, which made no one happy. Like, I just don't even know what they're doing with that site anymore. It's the kind of site that would have been just pretty nominally profitable back in the day if they just left it alone. Haven't seen the weirdest hat in Pokemon? Lay it on me. It is a person wearing this hat, not a Pokemon, though, right? Like, if a Pokemon is wearing a silly hat, that's just a thing the Pokemon does. Makes more sense than a person wearing a silly hat in Pokemon. There wasn't anything up there. There was a third dragon coin in there, though, wasn't there? Interesting. Yes, please. Probably something I'll need to check at some point. Yeah, person. Okay. That's a hat? Interesting. That ain't a hat. I assumed that it was a headband plus his hair, and his hair is just anime silver. Also, this level is blindingly blue! It apparently requires use of Fire Flower to get around. But yeah, looking at it, I just thought it was his hair. Like, there was a period where that kind of hat was kind of popular, wasn't it? Like beanies with things coming off of them, little tentacle tubes, I guess. That's probably not their proper name, but that's what I'd call them. What? Yeah, that's a hat. I can't argue with that. In the second one, he definitely looks... That is definitely a hat. But the other one just looks like anime hair. Yeah, that's clearly anime hair in that other one. Like, yeah. Yep. That was probably the most important change they made in that game. Making it so that his hat actually makes sense. Totally worth a remake just for that. Where am I actually supposed to go? Oh. Perfect timing. Absolutely perfect timing. The white part just covers his actual hair in the original sign. Raiders, here's your hat. Yeah, absolutely perfect timing. Thank you for the raid, Sir Whitebeard. How you doing? So, here's the thing. I was swimming when that happened, and in layer 3 water. And now that the box has popped up, there's no longer any layer 3 water. So absolutely perfect timing. How was the stream? What were you up to? Yeah, bye-bye water. Like, people have definitely timed, like, bits before for that kind of thing. But I don't think I've ever had a raid timed so perfectly for water removal. At least the dolphin died with me, it's true. It's true. I can take small solace in that. But yes, through the use of USB magic, we've got to both have an alert in game and have the alert take away the water that I was swimming in. Oh, USB magic, aren't you truly an excellent thing? I'm presently moderating this hack, which is a pretty classic old school hack. Older school hack, I suppose. Max would be suitably annoyed if I just called it old school. Comes out of the year 2014. And is a fairly vanilla-ish. It's not, like, heavy on chocolate, but it has a little bit here and there. But oddly, it's been in the queue, like, 3 times in recent history. Yeah, recent memory, which is a bit odd for this type of game, but it's had some updates. I think Amethyst handled the first go-around, and I'm just doing the second go-around. Probably should reread the README to make sure I'm not missing anything important. Have some ads. Just short work on Purgatory. Got decent PB and sub-hour streams. Oh, nice! Congrats! How you doing, Louis? Luis. Been busy working today. Was gonna reply to your message, but I got distracted. Nice you had extra time to work on your level, though. Been a frustrating work day. Things that were supposed to work did not. How it goes. I don't... Oh, I guess I can just swim under the level, can't I? Or not. Yeah, I had to remember. We're heavy on the resets for this game, which is especially annoying given that, like... it doesn't save that often. Do you already find a name for this hack? We have not yet, Zucati. We have not. How you doing? On the bright side, I've already done all the annoying things to this level, so I just need to run through it. At least next time for the other level, I can go get all the dragon coins first. Before exiting the secret exit, which was going to waste some time. Doing good? Yes, alright. That's not too shabby. Did you see my note? I sent you a thing about requests on Discord. Like yesterday. To get things squared. Gotta head to bed? Fair enough. Sleep well. Thank you again for the raid. I'm just gonna keep running into Chucks, because why not? And this works. It works well enough. I don't know why I'm getting the dragon coins. I guess because they're basically here for free. You know what? I might still be able to get a 1-up if I'm lucky. No, I'm not lucky! I'm gonna kill this guy. Because I'm not lucky. Duck. There we go. Extra life. I thank you for the good luck. Are those squared things soft? I didn't even touch it. darn it. Oh. Ah. I might have to turn down the ratio on that. Because this hack has a lot of stuff going on. And not a lot of save locations. This is like the 5th time someone has reset on me. Do like capes, though. Yes, capes. And yes, I see exactly what I need to do. I just need to go under the stage here. Like, quite literally, this is just for the benefit of someone who wants to get the secret area and or all the dragon coins. And or be blinded by bright cyan stuff. What if you reset today? I mean, every day is reset day. Like, this hack has a lot of, like, backtracking for various secrets. Decide whatever hack you make next will be purely, entirely hooded edge ports. I like it. Super hooded edge port world. It could work. It could work. You remember when Faro was working on a musically inclined level? That was amusing. He does know how to make SMW music. I just assume anything that's like a Mega Man export, or if I find it suddenly devolves into Toho music partway through, is something he ported. I just make that assumption nowadays. It might not be correct, but it probably is. Yeah, I wonder how, wonder what he's been up to. I know he used to stream a little bit. I don't know if he still does anymore. I know he used to be, and may still in fact be, involved with music moderation, which is a humongous and thankless job. It's not a position I would accept with any... I'd want to accept it all. It's a never-ending amount of moderation requirement. Alright, so that was the normal exit, huh? I assume the other one was a secret exit. 100% is. He's been up to making music. Fair. Cold climb. Ooh, let's climb the cold. Look out for angry snowballs that will come at you from the corners of the screen. Got it. Find this level slightly offensive. You know, a nice thing about the snowball is it has a heavy amount of symmetry, so you probably didn't have to draw all that much of it to make the snowball sprite. It's got 360 degrees of symmetry. When you grab the shell and the Koopa still kills you. Anyway. I felt I didn't hold up. And the Koopa got me, because there's a weird thing that happens with Koopas sometimes, especially the kicking ones. I'm not exactly certain what the mechanic is, but I've run into it in vanilla before. Just one of those things you're not supposed to do. Don't steal his shell. Don't tug on Superman's cape. Don't spit into the wind. And you don't mess around with Jim. Else has been up and important recently. Who's Jim? I think Jim is anyone who plays the Stanley Parable, I believe is the case. Everyone who plays that game is named Jim. I'm just quoting an oldie song. Ah. Has someone made a Stanley Parable SMW hack yet? I don't think so. At least not to my knowledge. It seems like the kind of thing to do. Jim Pickens. There's a lot of Jims out there. For instance, Slim Jim. I've never actually played Stanley Parable. There was a puzzle hunt, a Microsoft, or a mystery hunt puzzle based upon the Stanley Parable that we didn't solve the right way. Me and Squiggles and one of our buddies figured out that we could sort of side solve it using some trickery. And so we did. Alright, so that's a level, and I can get a blue Yoshi. Getting a blue Yoshi is just too much. But we kind of figured out a way to avoid solving it. And it was a pretty easy trick once you really got down to it. What you did was you could find a very, like, if you cheated yourself out of the main arena, what you could do once you got out of the jail, because it broke some important parts of the circuit once you got into jail, but that we found a way to observe the area without breaking the circuit, which is something they didn't want, but we managed to do it. And then I found the one spot in the circuit where we could flip it from successfully from unsolved to solved. And that's how we broke it. It was just like replacing one item with redstone. And if you did that, specifically that, it would reveal unto you that your answer was spruce, I believe. But you were supposed to do something really clever with the Stanley Parable dialogue that it would present to you and how you went through various paths and how it related to the original game. But we didn't do any of that. I think because probably me and Squiggles didn't have much familiarity with it at all, aside from it existing. Maybe Squiggles does. This is the story of a man named Mario. Mario worked for a company in a big building where he's employee number 427. Employee 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on his keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. Oh, that's the entire reason I walked back was to go and do that level there. I wanted to save and do that level because I didn't want to have to do those other two levels again. Brilliant. Brilliant. I do like the narrator of that game. That's all I can really say. I haven't played it. One of those things I probably should play. I know that it's a really fantastic, interesting narrative game. I also know there's an achievement where you have to play it and then leave it alone for like 4 years to get the achievement legitimately. If you really care about achievements. Oh, Mario 2 music. I might play some Mario 2 in the near future. It really depends upon how long Pandemonium takes. I can't see those. I can't see them at all. You got that achievement. Congratulations, Kappa. How you doing? That was a terrible way to start that level. I cannot see those. I can't see that. The only one you're missing is the speedrun achievement, and the you can't obtain this achievement. Is Luigi part of the Raphael parable? I have no idea. Would Raphael be the turtle or the artist? I am fine with either. But I just need to know in advance. I can't see those! This level is going to be painful, because I cannot see the dang snowballs against the blue background. I make poor decisions. Note what I said about six throwers. It's always a six thrower. Madden. John Madden. Football. Well, at least this is a sign the level's probably not going to be that long. Power up, please. Thank you. Now we'll jump on the Tetris piece. And wait the prescribed number of balls. Some places they measure time using balls. For some reason. Oh yeah, this is a yellow level. I don't need to worry about finding a secret exit. Are you... No! Oh, and I need a fire flower to do that part. I have no idea what I want the spring for. There's a lot of things that haven't gone Mario's way in this. Nope. Really glad I just neutraled that. There we go. Okay. When Mario came to a set of 2 doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Mario knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by in the employee lounge first, just to admire it. He has 6 balls. Clearly you have to enter the door to your left. Oh god, if I can't see the door to my left because it's blue, that might be a problem. Okay, that's off screen, so it's not going to work. That's good for me. Oh, these only throw 2. That's nice of them. Alright, I've come to the conclusion that I do not care about that stupid thing. Odd. Huh. What's up with that? Well, this is pleasant. I did note that I could go over the top there. Okay, well that's cool. So 2 things I failed at. I didn't get all the dragon coins because I got hit too many times. And 2, I didn't test the midway. This was not the way to the exit, and Mario knew it very well. Perhaps he just wanted to take a detour to Bowser's castle, just to rescue the princess. Yeah, 6 balls is a lot. George Washington only had 4. But he'd have like 37 goddamn dicks, so you know. This is going to be the most obnoxious part. The part where I can't see the balls on the background. Okay, let's try this again. Try it again. Rapping horribly. George Washington's made out of marble? No, he's not made out of marble. He's made out of radiation. He also might be 10 stories high. Honestly, I love that bit, that silly video way too much. I think it was Brad Neely. Did a bunch of other stuff, like the Be Aggressive video. This is now safe. Why do I have... I guess the only reason to have that is to get the coins right there. I'm not taking that thing with me. A lot of an unrelated Sam and Max comic. I wouldn't know. I've never played or watched or done anything with Sam or Max. Like, the extent of LucasArts stuff that I've really enjoyed has mostly been their Star Wars stuff. And Monkey Island, and that's only been recently. I did play a non-trivial amount of The Dig, but I don't think anyone else really did. And I have a suspicion now. Yep. That's what I needed the spring for. So I completely sidestepped this just by careful jumping. That's all I need to do. Be careful with my jumps. I don't need the object down there. I can make my life a little... Nope, I can't. Whoop. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, get the midway. Pretty sure Sam Max been enabled by Telltale and... no, they were LucasArts games first. Sam Max was definitely LucasArts back in the day. Yeah, Telltale just, like, did a bunch of stuff with the various LucasArts properties. Way back when. I'm pretty sure. Yep, Midway works. Yeah, I want to say Tim Schafer was involved, but Tim Schafer's involved with a lot of things. In retrospect, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, no going back. Feels like a very large level. I'm unsure about this. Like, clearly there has to be something over here or else there wouldn't be a Koopa guarding whatever it is, so let's find out what it is over here. A single solitary dragon coin and a P-switch to make the walk back easier. I appreciate these things. I could have jumped on the Koopa again, but... and I probably needed to do that. Yeah, I lucked into that. 100% lucked into that. LucasArts died before 2000? It wasn't much after 2000 that they died, if that. I think Grim Fandango was pretty much their last published adventure game, or really game period. The adventure game genre kind of died around that time, or at least enthusiasm for it did. In part because you could just do so much more with, like, actual gameplay now. Your red fireballs will bounce after breaking a frozen turn block. It's pretty whack. Okay, that's useful to know. Do I want to try that yet? Or do I want to go forward? Nope, I want to try it. My instincts do not work in worlds where you actually have pipes that go backwards when you go through them. Alright. Convenient. And that actually... oh, that explains the makeup of this level so much. Okay. How much time do I have? Enough. Let's do something silly. I have an idea for something silly to try. So if you want to avoid having issues with midways... yep. Brilliant. Simple and elegant solution. Because your midways need to be in the same area as your starting level. And the same actual level number. And so... basically, the midway's right here. And I didn't go that far linearly. It is possible to do fancier things, but it requires a lot more work, in my understanding. No. It would be dumb if I dropped that. Really dumb. Ooh, transparency. Okay, it's proper layer 2, not it's not the one and done layer 2. The midway, I just need to get one more dragon coin. I do like the transparency on layer 2. It's a nice touch. I'm gonna take the hole with the coins. That looks less suspiciously manufactured. Once again, something over here as a reward if you happen to have a useful firepower. little snowflakes in the middle of it. Little solid ice bits. Oh, I missed one. I need to test the midway anyway. My brilliant plan has somewhat fallen apart. It reminds me. That just went, see you! Yep. Oh, nice to provide a, midway, or a save there. Oh, Gadad. You love me a good Gadad. Or a different kind of Mario. Come on. Mushroom. Alright, well. Need the red one to spawn. Which I did not do right. I wonder if someone's gonna sprite the Mario movie for, like, no good reason. I mean, wouldn't be a bad thing to do. Always fun looking at, like, the Mario doll. When I'm playing with the sprite. At least the small version. The big one has problems. Such as removing his head. I need to figure out what's up with that. Was there anything over here of note? I don't think there was. It's not a long level. Not that many spots to hide a dragon coin. I do think that the pitfalls here and here are suspicious. Like, why would you remove this? But, like, I think falling down there is also kind of dumb. Yeah. Once upon a time you had a Mario plush. It would look extremely vintage nowadays. Oh, I bet. Never really had any, like, Mario merch growing up, but my mom did find some Mario 3 thing. Like, it looked like the Mario 3 box fabric. And so I had a Mario 3 quilt growing up. And then my little brother took that quilt for a while. And then I think he just left it after he graduated college or something. So it's still at my mom's place. I think I put a picture of it up on Twitter somewhere. The final pit in the area has a arrow pointing down. You know, valid point. Also had a couple pillows. I don't know what happened to the pillows. Made with the same fabric. I'm certain it wasn't official Mario licensed fabric. But, you know. As a kid, I still thought it was pretty cool. Gotta bop one. I have had no luck with P-switch jumping in this hack. I'm usually pretty decent at it. I do want this. Yeah, that's probably it. The giant arrow pointing down. Nothing there. Pick up yet another fire flower. When the game really wants you loaded for bear. Wasn't one here, was there? Scroll up just to be sure. Or right here. I still haven't tested the midway, so I probably should do that this time around. You have your old school Mario plush? Or, well, whatever it once was. Mom lost it in storage. Aw. Unfortunate. Does look cute, though. Very old school. in its aesthetics. Yeah, I guess that's an arrow. Alright, here we goes nothing. I don't think that's an arrow. I just don't for some reason now. Alright, I might just put a marker down and go and try to find this if I can't find it after this next iteration. I cannot believe he escaped that. I thought it looked more like a ping pong paddle. But yeah, middle finger is also close. Sometimes looks can be deceiving. I was really hoping for flight there. That would have made that part a lot cooler. Also, I thought by the time I got over here, I had more dragon coins. I'm kind of wondering if I missed one earlier, like just not paying attention in the very first section. Guess I can go check one more time, but I don't think there was. Because I had 4 exiting the level. I think I'd rather have 1 cape. It's an S cape. Look at that escargot. Oh, you know what? I bet it's layer 2 nonsense. That's usually what these problems are when I run into them. Occurs to me you couldn't recreate a hack like Brutal Mario if you tried? I mean, is that a challenge? Or just a, like, the era that existed no longer exists sort of thing? But usually when it comes to I can't find a dragon coin, it's in a layer that in a level that uses a severe amount of layer 2 nonsense. It's usually because of the severe amount of layer 2 nonsense. Which usually means it's like hiding somewhere in this layer 2 maze if you wait and watch it long enough in various parts. Which I've already done a bad job of. See? Cool, I'm stopped. It's an era thing. You'd have to dig out a bunch of stuff. Yeah. It's true. Old tools, invite old guides. That may or may not have been updated. Yep. It was a different time. A much different time. On the bright side, you know, we have advantages that Carol didn't have. Things like, I don't know if Fast Drum was around. I mean, Fast Drum as a concept existed. I don't know if Lunar Magic supported Fast Drum back then. And the SA1 patch, which I bet Carol would have loved back in the day. Okay, I gotta move my leg. At least been moving on to a new level now. See, I say this feels like Mario 3, but that's only because I played a lot of Mario 3 in All-Stars. It's one of, like, the 2 games I had, 2 first games I got for the Super Nintendo. Donkey Kong Country 1, which was the pack-in, and our All-Stars were the 2 games I had for the longest time. Had a choice between getting Killer Instinct as a pack-in and Donkey Kong Country, and I think I made the right choice. Donkey Kong Country is just a better game, and I've never been a fighting game person. Go with SA1 is dangerous, with multiple midways is lethal. You know, you're probably onto something there, Fedora. You're probably onto something. Well, and here's the thing, you know, even though, like, Carol, you know, isn't around, it's still possible that Carol has decided to, you know, start rehacking under a different pseudonym. It's not impossible. And probably not unheard of in this community, you know? For so many years, there's expectations of you to release a specific hack that just isn't going to happen for various reasons. Just lost interest in doing that specific thing. Amari with SA1? Oh, please don't. The world is not ready. The world is not ready. Just absolutely not ready. Interesting. It's fun to slide down slopes on your butt. It's also real helpful. As long as you're in your sliding animation, you'll defeat enemies. Yeah, I know that. Okay. Cloud, will you just stay there for a minute? This is fine, too. Right through the door. This level doesn't have multiple exits, I don't think, so I don't think I found, like, the secret exit to my detriment here. Nope, just a weird bypass, probably. Well, a pleasant one. Yeah, the goal's right over there. I can feel it. My goal instinct states that it must be over there. And here's where I'd fall off. Perfect. Slope Muncher? No. I do not need more Slope Muncher in my life. I have passed one Slope Muncher. I am content. Highly content with my one Slope Muncher passing. Not a playthrough of Slope Muncher, just I bypassed a single Slope Muncher as part of a QLDC level. I want to see it was Undead Blackbird's level, but I'd have to look it up. It was 1-1 but, which was pretty silly. And ended with a singular Slope Muncher. Which I did have to use save states to figure out how to Slope Muncher, because I had no idea. Well, look, it's this room again. With the square. I wonder why. No stranger to recreating Super Slope Muncher with tile sets you wouldn't think fit. Oh, man. It's kind of easy once you figure out the right strat. Oh, I bet it is. It's just a matter of I didn't want to spend my time figuring out the right strat at the very end of the level repeatedly. I was expecting that to be a power-up. Guess it doesn't matter. Crushing! I'm totally crushing. Wait. Oh, no, no. Well, that could have gone worse. Ultimately, it worked out. Albeit barely, but ultimately. Like, I would have liked the object, but at least we hit the block. I have to know. Yep. There's always the last one. Some of those are missing the bottom block. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be dinging this hack for that. Well, I know what the secret exit is now. The bigger problem is where is the secret P-switch? Also, I don't want to die because I don't have to go through the auto-scroller again. Gotta get a fixed spreadsheet for this. Don't know why I got a version with his head cut off. That is gotta totally be my fault. There's the secret P-switch. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go forward instead of backwards, because I know where the P-switch is now. It's better for me to just make progress. And then we'll come back and get the secret as Marissa, because that's just how this works. I just want my dragon coins. It's really what it comes down to. Oh, okay. I'm going back to Cape. Give me a little higher margin of error. Like having a little higher margin of error, and then... Okay, we cool. So we got all the dragon coins. We need to test the midway, so let's die. Problem solved. Couldn't help but notice the Among Us. There was an Among Us? I feel this hack is way too early for there to be an Among Us in it. At least intentionally. It was originally released in 2014, I believe. And I'm pretty sure Among Us came out after that. Pretty sure, at least. Okay. Oh, I see. I see what the game wants me to do. That would have been easier. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, because usually the secret exits give you a quick option to fight the boss, if you are so inclined. Eh? Oh. Guess he's got to be a little bit closer. Alright. It's one of these. No. Got the diagonal one. Is that Among Us? No, it is not Among Us. Alright, don't need the warp star yet, but we'll go and do that one after this castle. Gonna duck. I'm in no big hurry. No big hurry. Could be into a big curry, though. One of the Taskmaster, like... bring in an item tasks was bring in something terribly inconvenient to take home. And, one of the guys brought a, 6-gallon wok full of curry. Which, yeah, that would be inconvenient to take home. Curry is nice. I haven't had a good curry in a while. I was kind of thinking, what should I do tomorrow? Because I've got to take Squirrels to the airport. And, oh, no. Oh, I'm fine. So I'll be in an area I'm not usually in. So I'm kind of tempted to, like, go get something nicer for dinner. I was thinking I might go and get some Thai food, since like, I already got to be driving anyway. There's a good Thai place that if I'm willing to drive to, I can go to. Alright. Oh, I need to go and do that too. I need to test that door. How long can a layer 3 crusher level be? I don't know. I kind of assume that all the ones that people make are just variants upon the 2 existing crusher levels. I believe it's only 2. There might be a couple, there might be 3. But I honestly don't know. But they all tend to behave pretty much the same way, at least as far as I've seen. I've tested the midway. Here's the boost. It's a boost. I don't really need to fight it. Let's at least see it. Ice Cube boost. Alright, I need to test that other door. Let's just go do that really quick. I could have start selected. That would have been smarter. But anyway. We'll just go get our P-switch and just kind of wander on out. And try the other door. Cannot for the life of me get that jump today. And then enter this to see if it's the same boost. And look, it is the same boost. The boost cube. None of these bosses have actually been remotely difficult to fight so far. They're just like big arenas. It's pretty much just a victory lap over the level. Kind of wonder if it'll ever become a challenging boss. Like they'll have a bunch of lava or something. But there it goes. Goodbye, boos. Do-do-do. So one thing I'm curious about, because there is a Luigi version of these, is whether or not it was properly tested with... Or the Luigi version of this patch. Oh, well. Wowza! Bowza! That castle explosion warmed Marissa right up. Thankfully, the nearby pipe seems to lead somewhere warmer, but there are also some creepy noises coming out of it. What gives? Oh boy, sewer level. But... yeah, I wonder if the Luigi stuff works. In chat hacks, sometimes if you mess with physics, it prevents you from actually beating the levels, completing the castle animations, and that can be kind of a problem. Hey, Dunsuak. No one named this hack, that's so sad. Well, I think they just decided it didn't really... Maybe I'll find the name at the end. Never know. Cold Starland. Man, I am ready to be out of Ice Worlds. Beginning to look like a token ice world. And they're all... well, that's a 4-thrower, I guess. Not going to die in there. Ice, ice, baby. You know, an awful lot of stand names are pretty silly in JoJo, but I think Vanilla Ice might take the cake. Interesting. Okay, that's a solution. It's not one you see too often. Also, more DK music. I cannot see those snowballs on certain backgrounds. Where are we going? I still say Vanilla Ice's crowning achievement was being in the Turtles movie. Go ninja, go! Etc. Turtles 2 is a fun movie. I think it actually might be a better movie than the first Turtles movie. But it's been a while since I've seen either, so maybe not. But I think everyone can definitely agree it's better than the third one. The third Turtles movie was not a good idea. Oh, weird. I couldn't see my cape. That's why I did that. I was very confused as to what happened there. Must be something to do with sprite ordering. Yeah, there was a third one, Turtles in Time. It wasn't good. I think the shtick was they found a way to teleport back to medieval times or medieval Japan, I forget. I think Leonardo gets involved with a human woman or something. I watched this once on like a sick day a million years ago. It has been a very long time. Yeah, I got the midway. I guess I can die. And all the coins. Does ring a bell, but in a far distance. Yeah, it was very much, I think, direct to video compared to the other ones. Now that we have streaming direct to video doesn't mean quite as much as it used to. But it used to mean a sign of lack of quality. Such as the direct-to-video sequels for The Lion King and Aladdin. Though I think the third Aladdin movie was apparently pretty good from what I remember. Like, Aladdin's dad comes back and they decide they really need to steal this giant glove. Which is important for some reason. Literally all I remember. Interesting. Oh, that explains it. Gotta beat the level twice. And Knuckles. And Knuckles. Oh, and Knuckles. The gift that keeps on giving. I need more and Knuckles stickers. I think I'm down to like 5. Just don't have enough in my life. Enough and Knuckles. But I also haven't seen the guy who has the Knuckles stickers in person in like the last 3 years, so... He has told me when he will resume regular human life again. I have my doubts. I have my doubts. You have not seen the third one? Concept could have worked well, but not back then. I mean, even back then it could have worked, but I think it was not a very good movie. Like, the turtles wearing samurai gear is kind of a cool idea, except they're, you know, ninjas, not samurai. It's kind of like how there's the opposite of Ninja Sex Party, which is like Samurai Abstinence Squad or something. I forget what their deal is. I know what their deal is, but I forget what the joke punchline was there. And of course, there's always the classic Ask a Ninja thing, where Paul asks if samurai are better than ninjas. Or, well, no. Someone asks, my friend Paul says samurai are better than the ninjas. Does Paul make bad decisions? Paul? That guy makes terrible decisions. Here he is in a shower with a plugged-in boombox and toaster. Got out of the body cast 6 weeks later. The first thing he did was he sold his soul to an alien for a green balloon. It doesn't even make sense. But yes. It was a silly movie. Ninjas are better than samurais because you don't see them coming? Yes. For one of those, that's one of the reasons. I mean, samurai are cool too, but like... Even in Final Fantasy V, I think I'd rather have a ninja than a samurai. I guess it depends upon what my party makeup is. Like, samurai have the Gil Toss ability, which is basically a get-out-of-jail-free card if you're willing to throw enough money at any given problem. Because it does ramp up very quickly, provided you have enough money to pay for it. Whereas ninjas get the ability to wield 2 weapons at once, which is pretty badass. The downside is, though, that you do have some penalties for equipping 2 weapons at once. But they're not terribly bad penalties, and ninjas specialize in knives, which, other than the chicken knife, you don't really get good ones. But because you can do the chicken knife, you can equip the chicken knife in the offhand. I think it mitigates the chicken knife effect. So ninjas are probably better overall in Final Fantasy V than samurai, though you could make an argument that being able to wear heavy armor makes up for that fact. So you're going to want your ninja in the front row anyway. Anyway, this has been my TED Talk. Thank you for coming. Oh yeah, your ad. People should buy more ads. It's been a while since, I think Nat was the last one to buy one. Or maybe it's a sign that I probably should do more adventures in advergaming to encourage ad purchases. Because it has been a while. Last one was, in fact, last year. I still have a bunch of advergaming games lined up, if we pick Cola or go back and actually avoid the noids properly. What do you mean by buy more ads? So on the website, so basically for April Fool's Day 2 years ago, or a year ago, I implemented a self-service ad platform. And so if you... I don't know what the thing to proc there is to show people the ad platform thingy. But basically, if you go here, let me pull it up really quick. That is not going to help me because that doesn't have that. Thank you, game, or thank you, web browser. You go here, you can buy banner ads and have them show up on stream. The thing you can do. I probably should remove the sound thing since I don't actually do that. I only did that for that one stream. And I also gave people the option of having a particularly silly sound for one of them, but that cost way too much and no one bought it. Which was sort of the point of that joke. You would have had to pay $100 to have it play, and then I think I probably would have disabled it after the first time it played. Which would have been a terrible use of your money. Just because I don't think it would have worked too well to have it play on stream more than once. People would have gotten in trouble. Probably. Oh, please do. I mean, I played the BK games. Well, I played one of them. I played Sneaking for like 2 hours the first time I did it. It was like Sneaking... Oh, what did I do? I did Dash of Destruction, the Doritos, the best Doritos dinosaur-themed simulator. Yaris by Toyota, which is terrible. Sneaking. And then... Cool Spot. Played Cool Spot. And then the next one I did, I pretty much spent the whole time... I played both Avoid the Noid and Yo-Noid, which are different games. Yo-Noid is a somewhat competent character platformer, and Avoid the Noid is really weird and PC speakery. And eventually I cheated because I didn't want to have to spend that much time avoiding the Noid. Because some parts of that game are very much bullshit. But for a game you would have gotten free with a pizza, you know, it's pretty high quality. But that's an exceedingly low bar. Nightmare Ship. Do I want to go to the Nightmare Ship? Yeah, let's do the Nightmare Ship first. I wasn't really feeling that level. I don't... Oh good, it doesn't drop down entirely. I'm not going to be going down with the ship. Bizarrely enough, my first thought when I saw Nightmare Ship was not an actual ship that was gonna fall, rise and fall. It was some sort of, like, nightmare ship. I don't know what a nightmare ship would be in terms of, like, people who ship things. I am not one of those sorts of people. But there probably exists such a thing. Or such people who do such things. I remember playing League once and it was like, oh yeah, they're my OTP, and I'm like, what's OTP? Like, a one true pairing. I'm like, that's nice. That's nice. Not my cup of tea. Okay, so... I guess I need to continue to the right. There's nothing hiding below deck right there. What's up, Ghost? Bonk. Actually, no, I cannot re-enter this pipe, and that's just fine. I think I don't want to use the floating platform. If I'm given an option, I'm going to avoid using the floating platform. I just prefer not to. I find them unpredictable. Unpleasantly so. Okay, so I haven't found a midway yet. Which makes me think I can probably do this as a one and done, which would be nice. Unless it's going to do, like, something fancy with the Dragon Coins after, but usually if they're... That's a lot of Eries all stacked up on each other. Okay. Clearly the Eerie spawner was having some problems. For one, imagine that a nightmare ship just provides passage through those nightmares. Yeah, that'd be kind of nice. Better than not having passage. It's odd. Whenever I see the small version of that particular emote, I think it's Monokuma until I realize it's not. Got the same stridation. Oh, there's another switch. I thought I hit all of them already. Alright, I got one more shot at this. I'm 1 out of 3 on Yumps. I have to do better. Cool. And then it prevents you from flying. Oh, another P-switch. Cool. Guess I'm kind of glad I went back. In terms of, like, having some coin heaven fun. It's not bad. Coin heaveny. Paddington shoots a cow and Pingu gets to eat. Oh, I guess penguins are carnivorous, aren't they? Huh. Yeah, okay. 2 for 2. 2 for 4. I'll take it. The power of the switch you have pushed will turn this into that. Your progress will also be saved. The reason why I know penguins are, in fact, carnivorous is because I watched Scamper the Penguin back in the day. Which I believe was actually a form of Soviet propaganda. But I'm not entirely certain. One of those direct-to-video things we picked up at, like, Harco Drug for, like, $5, and one of my sisters really liked, so we watched a non-trivial amount of it. But it's even weirder, because the more I think about it, like, we never actually watched the thing to the end. Most of the time, we'd get halfway through and turn it off. Anyway, the more you know. You know what? I'm just gonna let the boo ring take another cycle. Take a break. Also thick as pig shit. Yeah, birds are not known for their intellect, in general. I thought I had it. There's a reason why, you know, you call someone bird-brained if you want to give them an insult. No! That's fine. Probably should play, Make a Good Mario Land 3? I don't know what that stands for. It looked briefly like Make a Good Mario Level contest, because I know there was a Maggle 4, so there probably should be a Maggle 3 by logic, but Talk House being Talk House. It's possible that there isn't. Make a Good Mega Man level. Okay, thank you. That one, that's one of Joopy's ads, actually. I think Joopy's big into that. I have not tested the Midway yet, so after getting the Dragon Coins, I'll do that. You know, I totally misread everything going on here. So I thought I needed this to get into this pipe, which I clearly don't. Boo laser. Played 2, it was pretty good. So is that... Oh. Is that actually in a Mega Man engine, or is it some sort of, like, fan game engine? That's the thing I never quite understood about the Mega Man crowd, I guess. Because, like, Mario World, you make things in Mario World. In Mega Man, there's an awful lot of options for Mega Man. It strikes me as very impractical to be dealing with all of those possible options. Oh yeah, I don't need to die. I can just start select. Game Maker engine? Ah, okay. Could you stack infinite springs? No, I don't think I could because I can only get 1 spring per go around. So what I could do is I could get 3 springs on screen if I wanted to, because I could pick up I could pick up a spring, go around, double grab another spring, then I have 2 springs, go around, and then I have 3 springs on screen. But I don't think there's a whole lot of utility to doing that. And I think that's the upper limit, would be 3 springs. Because I don't know if you can triple grab things, but I'm going to guess you can't. I legitimately do not know. It doesn't come up much when I'm on my side of moderating, not even like double grabs. If I have to double grab something, it's probably because I'm like playing something some sicko made. Feels way better than NES Mega Man. Alright, that's interesting. I did see someone playing a weird Mega Man. I thought it was a hack initially, but no, it was clearly like Game Maker after I looked at it for a while. Ooh, auto-scroller. And I think it was made by like World Peace or something. It was someone whose name I recognized from Mario hacking. And you had to fight all sorts of weird bosses. Who was playing that? Like, even weird for Mega Man. Like, not weird for, like, I want to be the guy, but definitely weird for Mega Man. Like, after all, the boss of I Want to Be the Bashi is a box of cereal, I think. Oddly enough, I still don't know. I've never actually watched Bashi, the streamer. But I have seen that there is a person who does jump levels. Let me rephrase that. Jump maps. I have made a poor choice having that coin there. This is going to make this area terrible. Who does TF2 jump map stuff, whose name is apparently Bashi. I wonder if it's the same person. God, that coin is causing me so much problems. It's super drop as many sprites as I possibly can world now. Because I'm stuck with this thing on screen. At least no midway. Never mind. The better news is the coin's going away. Jumps 1,000 times better on Magman? Okay. I am so glad I stopped reading chat to go get the dragon coin. If they ever get around to making a fourth, you're going to make a level no matter what the cost? Oh, nice. Yeah, I know someone was suggesting there need to be a fifth Maggle for SMW. And apparently Valentine organizes that for Talkhouse, I guess. One of those things I probably should understand or know. Well, that solves that problem. And no, it doesn't. Alright, give me a way to kill myself in this next room, please. Welp. Yup, no way to die. It's okay. Mystery because you didn't have money for Game Maker. Oh, interesting. So you actually have to get a copy of Game Maker to be able to participate. I didn't realize that. I guess it makes sense that Game Maker would cost money. I guess I just didn't even think about it. I played enough crappy Game Maker games back in the day that I just kind of assumed that it was mildly free. Kind of like Unity is up to a point. Like, you can make all the weird freeware games you want, but the moment you're trying to make money, we get a cut. Is the Unity license. Or something like that. Yeah, I think this is the shorter half of the level, so I'm kind of okay with the decision I made. A little while ago, I had a really good jingle that would be perfect for a Mario end level. Apparently, certain train types in Tokyo get, like, the train is incoming jingles. I heard one that would be fantastic for a Mario level ending. But I have no skill at porting and have no idea how to stream things, so it's something I'll probably have to figure out if I want to do certain weird stuff in the future. Don't let the floating skulls out of your sight, or else they will disappear. That won't be good. That won't be good for anyone. Hey, you're not floating. You're just a skull. More DK music. Which is just fine. It's good and relaxing stuff. Oh, this is the, like, Webb Woods music. Oh, that hurts. Forced interlude? Oh, okay. They don't get a cut, but you gotta pay for a license to publish your games. Makes sense. Can't go wrong with DKC music. I believe so, but if you're gonna have certain people play your game, I think that they might prefer less DKC music. And by people, I mean Just Cook. I think there was a point in time where people were using DKC music to troll him somehow. UD is free for students? Okay. Yeah, I've never looked into it. I probably should understand the licensing models for these things a bit better. Not that I've ever had an impetus to publish or play or make a game. It would be cool, but too much. Too many things I'd have to do for it. Too many projects I've already need to be getting ahead on anyway. Including but not limited to beating this game. Fixing a divot. Used to be the case you only publish for PC, you'd have to pay for the license. Okay, so that's what I was thinking then. Or something like it. I think I failed the jump there. I think that actually might have been a pipe with something in it. But I think I flubbed the up jumps. You know, or maybe that's suspicious up there. Weird. That wasn't smart. You also need to play... I do also need to play Fire Emblem. It's true. It's on the list. You could see it at down there near the bottom. It's just a pipe dream. Pipe Dream's a fun game. Look, the purple blocks have gotten me all confused. I guess that's not it? I don't know, that's weird. Oh, those things hurt. I haven't forgotten, I'm just working through the list. Like, with any luck, I'll be done with Final Fantasy II tomorrow. Tomorrow-ish. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Wednesday-ish. Also need to finish Pipe Dream. Oh yeah, you have that level, I think. I vaguely remember playing that at some point in the past. It was a while ago, though. Those blend in so well. Halfway through the first section. Oh, Pipe Dream, not Pipe. Oh, that's an Anonymous Bloodlust level. You had a level that had pipes. Different thing. Pipe Dream is a really cool looking level, though. I am a fan. And has that port of Siren that I really enjoy. Unity thing explains all the free horror games? Yeah. I mean, it's a fairly easy genre to make, the jump scare horror genre. Once you have, like, moving in 3D space given to you for free. I'll give credit at least. Choo Choo Charles is kind of a funny concept, even if it is still the same Unity horror. Oh no, we accidentally awakened this Cthulhuoid train. Whatever should we do? Oh, sorry. A spider has somehow mated with a train. We have to deal with its offspring. But yeah, Unity asset flips. There's a lot of those. Dead silence. The sound of silence. Surprisingly, that song used to be something of a joke. People actually used the Hello Darkness, My Old Friend as a punchline. It only became immensely popular for actual listening much later in life. At the part where you grab a pea balloon? Oh, gotta grab lock and a key balloon? Okay. I might have taken a bit too... I didn't deserve that. That was... I really didn't deserve that, but I'm happy it happened. Yeah, that hack is really cool to watch people play, but I never want to play it myself. Pipe Dream was my introduction to that kind of thing. I was watching, I forget who tried to clear it. Maybe it was Eldad. Because that was just a demo for that hack. Hacker's Dream. It's more fun than... Yeah, I'm certain it's more fun than I think. The fun part isn't the issue, it's the how much time and effort would I need to put in to make anything resembling reasonable progress. And also, how much would my hands hurt afterwards? Okay, I still think... that must be where the secret is. Because, like, I could get back with the P-switch easily. So I think there might be something to do with the P-switch there. I'll get all the dragon coins, and then we'll come back and look. That's, I think, the most sensible way to go about it. I need to fix my window ordering. I can't actually read chat right now. Not that hard on the hands. Oh, maybe not, then. Maybe I'll give it a shot one day. I really should get back into doing at least some Kaizo. I've been derelict in my responsibility to Kaizo recently. Like, I think the last time I played anything Kaizo that wasn't, like, testing for somebody, if that, was in January. Okay, we got all the dragon coins. Only a non-level you played that was really hard on the hands was going too far because the LR stuff was really suspicious. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember if I saw going too far. Okay, grab this. Walk it back. See what we can find. Like, this is suspicious. There we go. Apparently I just didn't jump to the right well enough. And I could have circumvented this with my own P-switch. But I didn't. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Blind run. I get the feeling I'm not going to like this. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a very exciting level, it's just kind of a blind run. And we can get access to useful power-ups here, if we cared. Ah! Where am I? Please, get me out of this place! That's probably one of the better uses of a Yoshi message I've seen in a while. Yeah, it was not that bad. I was expecting much worse. Much worse. Oh. Hello? Sorry, Yoshi. You're against my policy. What was this level called? This is weird. Is it gonna jump scare me? So gonna jump scare me, isn't it? Go arg! Have like a fast bear pop out. Actually, this probably predates Five Nights at Freddy's too, doesn't it? When did that become popular? He must not escape. Okay. That was a thing that happened. What policy? Twerking is a banned word. I didn't ban twerking. Dead silence. Oh, and that wasn't 2 exits. That was weird. Okay, I thought something was weird. Yeah, I don't know. When did Five Nights at Freddy's come out? One of those is probably going to bug me until I look this up sort of things. Even though it really doesn't matter much. Oh, the policy is not using Yoshis and not using things you get in like top secret areas or power-up farms. I generally don't like doing that just because like I feel it's kind of cheesy. It's not ultimately like a bad thing. It's just like not something I like to do. Alright, got all 5 dragon coins. For certain levels, I'm happy to go back and farm things or move my power-up status manually or something, but for relatively normal hacks, I don't feel the need to, especially for well-designed ones. Your previous message did not show up in your chat, so you thought it got auto-modded? I don't... The last message I saw was the Unity thing explains all the free horror games on Steam. So if there was a message between here and there, it did not go through to Twitch. I did see twerking as a banned word, but whatever the previous message was there, I don't know what that is. There's only a few banned words. Assuming Twitch is not, you know, helping me out there, which it definitely could be. That's where the secret is. I can already see it. And the banned words are all very silly. Oh, for... Okay, nothing there. You are my least favorite sprite. Oh, and Crushers. There was no way I could have known that was going to happen. Good old, it gets saved in your chat, but doesn't show up in others. Yep. I mean, Twitch. What are you gonna do with Twitch? It was a good troll. I don't think it was intentional to be a troll, though. Yeah, I was standing on this line, too. Like, that was the place to stand. It's like, yeah, no, now you're dead. Alright, well, that's a Crusher. That's a Ninja. Believe it or not, I think Fast Drum is already on for this. And was that the last hack I moderated that I thought Fast Drum was already on for? I do like the bicolor teeth. That's kind of fun. I know better. Wait a second. I'm waiting. This is definitely a variant of the room from Bowser's Castle, so there's a limit to how far it's going to go and how fast it's going to go. Oh, hello. Can we be done with the dark room now? Let me guess. Okay, I'm not certain what I'm looking at here yet, but I feel like I might be able to cheese it, if I'm lucky. Or wait, this was not the way to do that. I definitely didn't leave myself enough leeway. Yep, you know, if I'd cut over here, I could have flown up there. It would have worked out. Oh well. Have to test the door anyway. Yep, sure is door. Huh, lava boo. And look, there's something that can actually kill me in this. Well, multiple things. The ceiling, the lava. He looks so happy. He's probably very warm. And the, you know, one additional boo. Now we wait. Really, I shouldn't collect these early just because of how long it takes for the boo to come back down. Victory! Simple enough. Let's learn about the castle. Wait, what? Did he just erase that, or did she just erase that castle with a huge mop? She should really keep that thing. What if that was her final smash in Smash Bros? Nah, that would be kind of stupid. Okay, next world. Yeah, I think Marissa's got better options than a giant mop for Final Smash. It would probably be Final Spark if I had to make a guess. Thank you for the GG. But first, we have to go back to the castle. How many exits do I have now? 71. We have made good progress this evening. Song doesn't fit. The Dark World. I'm gonna have to try this one again. I'm not happy that I have to go back through the Crushinator to have a second shot at this. And if I lose my cape, I am just right screwed. Like, I feel I can do that part if I can do some spin flying nonsense with cape. But if I lose my cape, there's no chance of recovery. Okay, well that's good. I don't need cape for this bit. Because it's pretty straightforward platforming. But I definitely need my cape in the upcoming area. Marissa will just steal the opponent's Final Smash. That'd be kind of cool. Like a Kirby, but for Final Smash kind of move. But come on, it's Marissa. She would totally do Final Spark. There's no way around it. It would be Final Spark if she got a Final Smash. Giant lasers. It's predestined. Okay, I'm not even going to hit the box. I'm going to get this, move it over here. So I have minimal cut. Then we'll get the cape out, grab the P-switch. Don't do this before I do the minimal cut. Hit P-switch. And then fly. There we go. I'm not... I guess what you probably could do is make a cut and then make stairs up there so you could bring the spring with you, but I don't think it's a very good move. That's basically what she's done Touhou. I mean, she steals books in Touhou. I don't know my Touhou lore all that well. She just shoots giant lasers at people as part of her, like, spell cards. Non-directional laser is stolen from embodiment of Total of Scarlet Devil. Master Spark is from Loaded. You know more names of Touhou games than I do, so I will defer to your expertise. Well, this is working. I usually don't advocate cheesy solutions, but I really hate fish and booze. On hit detect, she tries to steal the Final Smash. If that succeeds, then she uses the opponent's Final Smash against them. If it fails, uses Master Spark or whatever. Okay, I dig. I dig. Twilight Realm is Monka. Monka S? Like I said, I don't know too much about the Touhous, especially recent ones. Like I said, I played some UFO, I played the Cerno one, I played Phantasmagoria Flower Review, and that's really it. Everything else I know about Touhou has come from, you know, weird fan things. And there's a lot of weird fan things with Touhou. Not yet. Hey, I saw that. I heard that, Curtis. Okay, while I have the cape, and I know I have the space for it, I want to try and get into that pipe up there. Okay, that pipe doesn't work. I guess we'll do this one now. So what is Twilight Realm? Oh, Zelda. Oh, wow, I was off. Weird. I guess this is what we're doing now, isn't it? I mean, the thing about Mario is you have a pretty good sense of where you are on the screen compared to an awful lot of other platformers. Mostly because of how the screen centers in absence of, like, any weird things happening. So doing a section like this isn't actually that bad, especially with its relative simplicity. The more you know. I wonder if Twilight Realm is from the Zelda game that Crimson Skies cribs stuff from. Because that was a fun hack. One I might consider revisiting at some point. Now that I'm a lot better at Mario. Though I would need to disable my alerts, as hilarious as it was. Way back when Illustrious raided me, and the message caused the game to get stuck in a soft lock. Which was pretty funny, and was the intent. Quite literally, they looked at my stream and was like, you know what, that's a fancy ASM game. Something funny will happen if I try to raid Pat. And it did. The nice thing about that game is it saves after every level, but it doesn't save your midways. But in that specific level, the midways didn't matter that much. I think you were ultimately closer to the final boss when you, I found the secret keyhole, at the start of the level than at the midway, because of just the progression in the plant fortress. I was busy looking at the red thing as opposed to the booze. Gonna take the low path first, and hope. Not a fan of the boo cloud. Just in general. Gotta take it slow. The nice thing about it is I don't think it can ever spawn a boo inside of you. So as long as you're patient, you can always defeat the boo cloud. Ow. Yeah, I don't think it was Twilight Princess. But yeah, Crimson Skies is a relatively early hack with some heavy ASM stuff going on, kind of with a Metroidvania theme. Because you eventually get all sorts of interesting powers that are not often all that applicable, sadly. Some of them are kind of frustrating to use because you have to like manually recharge them by killing enemies. Like you have a limited invulnerability. Toggle, I guess. I think it was a toggle. And you need it to beat some bosses. Because, again, Metroidvania, you have to use your gimmick. But you had to charge it up by continuously just killing enemies, and that got really old really fast. You had to go farming whenever you needed to try to fight a boss that required it. Would have been nice if there were, like, just recharge stations somewhere in the game. I actually don't know who made that hack, but if they came back and made, like, a remastered version, I would definitely play it again. Because it was very cool conceptually. And the level design was pretty good, too. Lost in Twilight as a wolf. Okay. Yeah, I haven't played Twilight Princess aside from, like, a couple minutes. Got my hands on a Wii U way back in the day when I was an intern. Or a Wii for a few minutes, and decided instead I'd rather play, like, anything else. I don't know how I would have gotten this without getting hit. Like, I can move to lower strata without getting hurt. That's clear. But I don't think it's very easy to avoid taking damage here. Okay. That worked. Item swimming. It's fun. Alright, made it through. Well, don't need... I mean, I have a choice. P-switch or this, I'm gonna take P-switch. Because I saw a spot to use the P-switch earlier. What would I use the spring for? Like, I had to have a cape to get up there. There's almost no spot where a spring would be more useful than a cape. Thank you, Ghost House, for being a ghost house. Found 4 of them, missing 1. I'm still going to beat the level because I kind of have to. 50! Yes! Yes! I wasn't even aiming for it, and I got it that time. Doesn't happen that often. Totally worth. Oh, that was the bonus level. No wonder it's confusing. I mean, I spent like all 700 seconds. I spent 6 minutes in that level, not counting load times. Oh, hello, pipe. Oh, the pipe was here last time. I remember I tried it, and then I did this as my solution to going with Fish and Boo. Because he goes at the same speed as, like, max flight. Solutions. Yeah, it is a frame-perfect thing. It doesn't happen too often, but it is really fun when it does. Okay, I still haven't tested the midway. I need to get all the dragon coins again. And I probably need to take the spring out with me instead of the other thing. Okay. Yeah, I'll cycle that around. I probably should have gone with 2 capes, but, like, this is not a hard area. Especially with cape. There was a hack for Mystery Monday that I never got around to playing, I think called Colors 2 or something, where there were different solid color tiles that affected how certain things worked. It seemed like an interesting concept, but I never actually got around to playing it because the whole Mystery Monday project kind of became less important when I became a moderator for SMW Central. Playing older hacks took a back seat to playing newer ones for some reason. You know what? I'm not going to go in there yet. I want to see... Hello. That's a spot where I would want to spring. Okay, everything makes sense now. Everything about this level makes sense now. Oh, I don't have to burn a power up to get that. Not happy. Like, you could do that small, but I think big, your hitbox is too large for it to be reasonable. Do. Oh. Well, I didn't need to test the midway. But I also need to be encapened. Convenient. Okay. No, this works. This is not a problem. It's annoying, but it's not a problem. Ah, man. Yeah, I'm very, very excited about Dark Souls. It's a game I've never played. Oh, I didn't jump right. I said, this is going to be easy. Oh man, this is not a good sign. Am I not even jumping on the first platform? Is that what's happening here? Okay, you know what? Solutions. Okay, maybe not solutions. Yeah, since I'm using sound here, it's not really ideal. But that worked out. Okay, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. Look up. Okay. So I have a place where I actually want to use the springs. We're gonna have to go up and do that. Level used light screen, it was effective, yeah. Well, it's kind of sad since I did that part like 4 times already, and somehow managed to screw up that time. Just a little miffed at myself, and that was just a bad way of playing it. There were much better ways of playing that. Got through without getting hit last time, though, or the first time, so good odds. Let's cruise up on this top one. There we go. Got the spring now. Didn't see this before. Okay, this needs to be really exact, because it's one tile. That was not really exact. It was not a good one tile. Okay. Definitely ready to get out of this level. It is slow and tedious. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do, I think? I think I'm gonna try to fly instead. I'm unconvinced that it's better... I'll be better off if I actually use the springboard. Like, it might work better if I use the springboard, but I'm not terribly convinced about it. Yep. That time I got it, no problem. I think I'm just off by something last time. Alright. Grab this. I didn't see that coming. I should not have put my controller down for a moment. It is nice that when you do this right, it's roughly in the right spot for the next spawn. Because boo rings are persistent. The angles are always the same when you despawn them. They'll respawn in the exact same spot. Wonder why it made that noise. Yeah, this is one of those cases where, like, I'm starting to, like, clock out of the level, because I'm just doing silly things. Yeah, that was bad. Definitely starting to zonk out of the level a bit. Okay. Need to come up with some sort of thing to talk about which isn't just going back through this level again. What else is going on? Yeah, I have 2 goals for this month that I really want to meet. I need to figure out which days I'm going to do it on. 2 stream goals. One of them is mini golf day. I have talked about it for a number of... probably like 2 years now. It's just time for it to happen. Got the CDI, I just need to pick like a Sunday to do it. Maybe this Sunday. We'll see. But basically, we just play nothing but mini golf games for like 8 hours, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I've got at least 3 games I know I want to have on the docket. One for CDI, one for DOS. Or one for Windows. And possibly a second Windows one. And I guess also there's a Flash one that I know that I definitely want to do. And one that's not traditionally a mini golf game, but it's close enough. And it's a very cute little game. But it's also in Flash. So 2 Flash games, Windows, possibly Windows one. I'm not exactly sure how to tag it, because, like, It was a game that wasn't actually released. Basically, some people found a beta of this game in like some old Sierra archive and decided to patch it up enough to work. And so it's an open source implementation of it that kind of works, is my understanding, but I, haven't played it yet, and I'd have to install it and find out. The problem, of course, being that when you're switching between so many things, it gets hard to do all of the captures properly. But I remain optimistic. And then, of course, golf with friends. I figure that we can do that one at the end. Just not certain when the end is going to end up being, which is a little bit of a problem with trying to schedule stuff with peoples. But I've never actually done like a multiplayer thing on this that wasn't chat hacks. Like chat hacks is multiplayer in a way, but it's not really multiplayer. Though I have considered occasionally like trying to do like a Jackbox thing because it seems a lot easier to pull off when I'm out in the field than doing a proper stream. That doesn't work. And also, there's a friggin' spring right here, and then there's a P-switch that I missed. Okay, I understand what I did wrong now. I completely forgot about that part of the level because I haven't spent much time there. What I can do is run that loop again. Ditch that, I don't need it. I'm torn between just resetting. Not resetting, I'm torn between start selecting and doing this again, or trying to do the loop again. Because I've done this wrong. If I go through the other loop, I won't get a power-up that I need. But I do need to do the other loop again. I don't know how long the other tunnel's gonna be, and I've already burned 300 seconds. Did I save? Resetting here wouldn't be that painful. I already saved most recently, so if you want to reset. It's not gonna cause me any pain, thankfully. I meant reset in terms of just, like, position resetting. Right, already did that. Muscle memory is not the best for this kind of thing, but that gets me the power-ups I need to do the next part. Pulling my leg. Alright, fine. I'm just trying to think strategically here. And then chat hacks. I want to do some chat hacks. It's been too long. Which I've said multiple... Alright, yeah, no. We're at a point where, in order to pull this off, I just need to go back a loop. Not gonna reset for now. I appreciate that. But yeah. Chat hacks and mini golf day. Those are the two things I want to make sure I accomplish in addition to, like, finishing the moderation for this before I head back to, go to the East Coast for a bit. Go visit, some family out there, see my sister's baby. Ain't seen him yet. I've got a good picture of him, but I'm not going to post it to Discord or anything because, I value their privacy and all that. But it's really funny. They decided that since they had to renew their passports anyway, they'd go and get him a passport. And, so it's a picture of the father holding this baby in the middle of, like, a 7-Eleven. Looks like an odd religious ceremony. Which it kind of is, in the way that passport photos are kind of weird. But I digress. So go do that, and then maybe see an Ailstorm concert while I'm out there. That's high on my list of things to do. I do like Ailstorm. Saw him a few years back. Oh wait, hold up. That's the thing I want to get into. Pirate metal. Very silly pirate metal. In fact, the last song of theirs I heard was Big Ship, Little Ship, Cardboard Box. Living in a car isn't very yar. Alright, this is actually possible to do somehow. Just very precise, surprisingly. Oh, okay, that hurts. I always feel like spikes shouldn't have a side hitbox. Oh, I don't need this thing. But I'm used to doing this part with it, so I guess I'll take it with. It's just here to get those coins if you want them. That's all that's there for. Much more obvious to me now. But I think this is... That was... No! Ah! That was almost 100% safe. Almost. Ow. Man, ghost houses are always tricky. If you're making them right, they should always be tricky. Yeah, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of, like, the requests right now. Because some of them aren't going to take nearly as long, thankfully. Like, Dark Souls is long, Final Fantasies are long. But, like, there's some stuff in there that I think will probably be, like, a one-and-done sort of stream. I don't know exactly how long Rhythm Heaven takes to beat. But I'm also not certain I want to beat the entirety of a Rhythm Heaven game. Mildly curious. I think it's more of one of those games like you learn to master, and then eventually you play the ultimate Megamix part, and feed the monk all the eggs he needs to eat or something. I forget how it goes. Only ever seen, like, YouTube parodies of Rhythm Heaven stuff. Which is, you know, frequently cute. But not something I know that much about. And I still need to figure out how to actually get it onto the Wii U. Haven't done that yet. Which is why I probably should have left all of the requests in their prior state. It was close. Rather than changing them until I actually knew what I was doing. But I'll figure it out. Also, Deltarune could be fun. That's one I could definitely do out in the field. Haven't figured out if that's what Zuccotti wants me to do or not since the initial request. Different what he said now, and he still hasn't replied to me. Probably remind him tomorrow. But... oh, that sucks. Well, I can go back and get some health things. That's an option, or I can just trudge forward and hope that whatever's in there gives me a power-up and or doesn't murder me immediately. Which is what I'm gonna do! Is it ill-advised? Probably. Also not gonna try Nyup, but I did get the P-switch to go in with me. Ew. Oh, why? Oh. This is some layer 2 nonsense. Some severe layer 2 nonsense. Oh, they're solid. What? They're spring blocks. No, they're unknown things. This is more terrifying. Okay, well, they probably won't kill me, that's the good news. And they're mildly solid. And I don't know what they're gonna do when I land in one. Other than being like one tile water, apparently, sometimes. Yeah, I would classify this section as being very unpleasant. Oh, that was incredibly stressful. Incredibly stressful. Okay, now I can do this level. Nope. Eerie. Ah, layer 2 nonsense. And Eerie's. That could have gone badly. Eerie spawner, could you stop? No! Okay. I'm going to scroll back a little bit, make that easier. I think scrolling might have been a really bad idea. Okay. Got the key. Okay, I just need to not die again for a little bit. So I know where the final dragon coin is. It's just past this pipe. I know where the key is. Oh, no. Oh. Well, I know where the final dragon coin is. And then next time I don't need to do all of the rigmarole to get to the dragon coin. But I do need a cape after all that, which I didn't really think through. And I don't think I can get on this lap. But once I complete this, it takes me back to the beginning of the level. So I guess I can do that. And one of these has a mushroom in it. Will there be a next time? There will be a next time. Well, on the bright side, I got through that. I'm hoping there won't be. But we'll find out shortly. Because all I need is a cape and this key and to get to the end of the level. So let's pick up the other cape that we can get. We don't need to take any more pipes. But, like, if I did die right now, or someone did reset right now, I would be able to do this without having to do anything but get the key, which only required visiting one of the two of the three pipes. Admittedly, the second pipe, or the third pipe, was very stressful, but I still wouldn't have to go through quite the level of rigmarole. And I would know better to make sure to go back and pick up some health instead of just taking the key with me. Okay. Just kind of thought that would work, and it did. Okay, here we go. And just as time was about to go fast. And that gets us both exits on that, which is what I needed. That was important to me. Let's see, we're still missing about 34 exits. That's not bad. It's not bad. Made good progress. And if I did beat another one of these, I'd have to go back somewhere and save, and I don't want to do that. So I think this is where we call it.